Hi, I'm Aaron Cambry, and I have another commentary on how BSA can do better to have another 100 years. So I'm a soccer coach. This is my soccer team. I've been coaching this team since their kindergarten year. This is my 24th consecutive season. Let me give a little commentary. In BSA, once you start getting to 8th grade, the numbers are absolutely tanking. They're terrible. The typical troop, from the best I can tell, is about a 4-to-1 ratio of active high schoolers to active middle schoolers. That's because high schoolers are quitting us. They don't enjoy the program. They don't like the babysitting regime. It just sucks for them. This is the only team in my area that is a recreational U18 soccer team. That is it. There's no U18, there's no U17, there's no U16, no U15, no U14, no U13. The oldest team out here is U12 until you get to my team. I'm having success in ways that BSA can't even comprehend. And there's a few reasons for that. One is that I keep it fun as best I can. There's some speakers there. We have a party basically at every event. I focus on positive reinforcement. I get competent coaches out here. I'll admit I'm not that competent. I express a vision about our culture and how we need to be. And importantly, I do mentoring correctly, unlike BSA. So let's talk about mentoring. In BSA, mentoring is widely misconstrued and conveyed incorrectly. What we call mentoring, when people say mentoring, they're typically talking about high schoolers babysitting middle schoolers. That is not mentoring. The practical reality in BSA is 90% of high schoolers are stuck in our middle school program, which is ridiculous. Our middle school program is Scouts BSA. Yes, Scouts BSA is a middle school program. It descends from Baden-Powell's original 1907 experiment, which in 1918 Baden-Powell said, yep, this is a middle school program. High schoolers don't like it. Give high schoolers their own program. BSA has still not gotten the memo. The rest of our international peers have gotten the memo. The rest of the USA society has moved on. Like, for example, you don't see many 11th graders on the 6th grade debate team. That's because it's normal for us to offer separate opportunities for high schoolers and middle schoolers, but not good old BSA. Those gold loopers don't know what they're doing, and they're still stuck in a rut on this ancient 1907 obsolete design that is not serving us well. Anyway, let me get back to the point. The vast majority of our high schoolers are stuck in our middle school program. And why are they stuck in there? Because adult leaders are abdicating their duty, and instead of doing the adult association method of scouting, adult leaders are having the high schoolers babysit the middle schoolers. That's not good for the middle schoolers. It's not good for the high schoolers. It deprives middle schoolers of ownership of their own program, and it deprives high schoolers of leadership experience and age-appropriate programming. So let's go back to the soccer team. There's an important point I want to make about this. One of the people in the white shirt is 22 years old. He's their mentor. He's also my coach. He does this voluntarily. That's the first thing that's very important. He does this voluntarily. This is not his program. He doesn't play on the team. He's different. He's not their peer. If you do it this way, this is actual mentoring. He's not a babysitter. So where does BSA need to go to do mentoring correctly? Well, first of all, we got to stop fetishizing mentoring. Because of this weird fetish about a wrong definition of mentoring, what we end up doing is, like I said earlier, we mislabel babysitting as mentoring. And that's not mentoring at all. It just undermines everybody. Second, we create this weird dynamic where we think that 6th graders need this babysitting, and we think that high schoolers are well served by delivering this babysitting, and neither of that is true either. Neither of those are true. So if we want to do things right, we separate the middle schoolers and high schoolers into their own program. So middle schoolers, if they're in their own program, which is Scouts BSA, this is just a middle school program, let's just call it what it is. If the 6th graders own their own middle school program, then they get to rise up in their own program and own it and do well in it, without simply having to be recipients of babysitting. And no, the 6th graders do not depend on the 11th graders babysitting them. That is a false dynamic. What they depend on is you adults standing up and helping them succeed. High schoolers, also, they need their own program. That would be the first time they can ever do leadership, is if they're in their own program with their own peers, having peer age level experiences. Because what is leadership? Leadership is not running a corporate bureaucracy simulation, which is the youth bureaucracy of Scouts BSA. That is not leadership at all. Leadership is about visions, and it's about gaining voluntary followers, and it's about motivating the voluntary followers to achieving the vision. That's what high schoolers need, and that's what venturing excels at. Not Scouts BSA. Again, the way we do Scouts BSA is a corporate simulation. It's just a bureaucracy, a babysitting regime. High schoolers need their own program where they can have their own leadership opportunities with their own peers. And let's go back to mentoring. Mentoring can happen in both programs with separation. Mentoring does not depend on cross-age band experiences. So in the 6th grade program, as I said earlier, middle school program, 6th graders, they can be mentored by the adults. The adult association method of scouting is real and it should be done. Adults have got to stop abdicating this. Also, there are opportunities for youth mentoring within the program. 8th graders who need an additional challenge before they graduate to the high school program, they can mentor the 6th graders. 6th graders don't depend on 11th graders. They can do just fine with 6th graders, and they can do even better with adults. 6th graders can do fine being mentored by 8th graders, and they'll do even better being mentored by adults. High schoolers, guarantee you, the 11th graders can have a lot to teach to the 9th graders. So the mentoring can happen within both those age bands. But I'm also proposing something new, the guide role. In my view, the guide role is something that replaces den chief, instructor, troop guide, and junior assistant scoutmaster. All it means is a youth from one program helps with any of the younger programs. So if a middle schooler wishes to help Cub Scouts, that middle schooler becomes a guide. If a high schooler wishes to help Scouts BSA or Cub Scouts, the high schooler becomes a guide. Guide does not replace age level programming. The high schooler helping a troop does not become a member of the troop. He does not become a peer of the troop. And he does not displace the members of that troop from leading their own program. Same as a middle schooler currently who's a den chief. That middle schooler is not a member of a pack. That middle schooler is not the leader of a pack. That middle schooler helps the den leader and helps the Cub Scouts be successful. So the guide role is importantly opt-in. It does not replace a program. It doesn't replace age-level programming for any youth. So a venturer who is a guide is still a venturer, still has full access to age-level programming, and on top of that, if that person wishes, that venturer may also help a younger program. So again, back to the soccer team, this is mentoring done correctly. My 22-year-old co-coach is not pretending to be a high school junior. He does not play on this team. This is optional for him. He doesn't replace any part of what the team does. When it's time for game day, only these actual youth team members are on the team. And that's what we need in Scouts BSA. 6th, 7th, and 8th graders are more than just recipients of babysitting services. They need to own their own program and be supported in rising up in their own program. 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders are more than just deliverers of babysitting services. They also need their own program, their own age level, peer experiences where they can finally learn leadership instead of just running a babysitting bureaucracy in a corporate simulation.